In today's episode, we will be taking you inside a historic abandoned state sanatorium nestled in the woods of Indiana. The Indiana State Sanatorium was established in 1908, originally conceived as a facility to treat tuberculosis, which was rampant at the time. Constructed on a 160-acre site, it was designed to house around 200 patients. The sanatorium was a groundbreaking facility reflecting the progressive medical approaches of the early 20th century, when tuberculosis was often a death sentence. As medical advances came into play, antibiotics began to revolutionize tuberculosis treatment in the 1940s, and by the 1950s the need for large sanatoriums diminished, leading to a gradual decline in patient numbers. In 1968, the Indiana State Sanatorium closed its doors, leaving behind a haunting echo of its once bustling wards. That was until 1976, when the facility reopened as a nursing home and a private mental hospital. The new facility remained open until 2011, when it suddenly closed, leaving hundreds of beds and hospital equipment behind. The building fell into disrepair, becoming a hotspot for urban explorers and others, until the massive property was purchased in 2020 and the new owners started allowing paid tours of the haunting buildings. So join us today as we take you to uncover the mysteries hidden behind the walls of this abandoned sanatorium. Alright, how's it going, guys? We just made it to the Indiana State Sanatorium right here. This place is truly massive, and when you look already, they actually have two old cars with the windows busted out, covered in snow. We're going to take a look at those real quick and make our way inside one of the first buildings here. So right here at this first car, they actually have an old boombox sitting in the snow, rotting. And when you look in the car, there's a bunch of snow inside. The inside's actually in decent condition. And then in the second car here, you can see it's already starting to really rot away with all the moss and stuff growing. The inside actually in a lot worse condition. And then coming this way, it looks like they have some more vehicles over here. They have a hearse, just super weird. The flat tires again. Wow. And then they actually have a full-size bus, a coach bus right here. Super rusty. Wow, let's go check out inside. This is crazy. All the seats just completely set up like this. The roof open. And the snow coming down right here. Wow. And then just coming right outside to the hearse again. This is super cool. Oh, actually, the back of the hearse was open right here. So you can see where they would put the caskets in there to transport the dead bodies. Wow, that's really cool. I think we're going to start making our way into the first building now, though. Coming down this way, you can see the doors already wide open in here. Right in here, it looks like this is actually the main lobby. And it's super cool and super old-fashioned here. But we were told that they were actually doing some construction in here. So they're actually converting it into a bed and breakfast. But right now, you can still see all of the decay in this room. Paint peeling up here. Actually, looks like this office is still set up. Wow. But it's super cool to hear that they're actually renovating part of this property. Actually, right in front of the staircase here, it looks like there's an old podium set up with an old book. I don't want that to fall. But the book is super old and damp. It's facing right in front of the stairs. It's super cool. Another office set up right here with all the paperwork set up on the desk. And just so much decay. You can actually see there's a broken window over there too. And just tons of debris all over the ground. Coming into the last room on this hallway right here. Looks like this is another office with some paperwork set up. And just tons of decay. So there was actually one more room next to that staircase before we moved on. It looks like there was all of the books in this room right here on this bookshelf. Not much on that, but they just left everything right here, and actually some old pictures just rotting away. Even down the stairs, it looks really cool, leading to the basement with that old checkerboard. But we're gonna go see if we can check that out in a little. We're gonna keep going around the building now and see what else we can find that's left. All right, so coming through this door right here, looks like there's some chairs set up still. Actually, oh, this is the hair salon in here. Wow. So they would have these to put on your hair when you're sitting there. That is so cool to see this. There's 2 chairs set up like that. They even have an old book. And the shoes, heels right there. Even have these sinks on this side. And actually an old TV. But wow, the decay and the paint peel in here is truly amazing. Even just seeing on these how rusted and old they look with the fake plants right next to it. It truly is a time capsule in here. When you look up in the hair salon, it actually looks like all of the ceiling started to fall. And this building is just completely collapsing on itself. So coming right next door to the hair salon here, looks like this might have been like an old daycare or something for children in here. Got the desk set up right there and the rainbow wall with the pot of gold. It's an old little mat right there and a TV. And it actually looks like this is where they would do some of their games or activities. It's super decayed in here as well. Actually really creepy in this room. Oh, so it looks like this is actually Sunday school in this room we were in right here. But as we keep going around the building, not too sure what they would use this room for. Kind of looks like this was a shop of some kind. They have some old paintings or pictures right here. Still up on display. Wet floor sign. Looks like they were cleaning it while it closed. But not too much in here. Some old papers right here. Oh, wow. All of the tables are still set up in here. It's just super nostalgic. They even have some jackets right there, still hung up on the chairs. But wow, even with the fake flowers right in the middle here, this is super cool. And again, the ceiling is just collapsing. This building is just falling apart on itself. It's so cool to see such an old building like this just completely frozen in time. So this looks like it's the last room on this hallway right here. And again, this is another office. First thing that caught my eye actually is there's a suitcase packed up with clothes. As if these people were trying to leave when the building closed and they just left everything. But then the desk is completely set up. This old computer here, keyboard, even paperwork just left out. Wow. So back over by the staircase right here, this office is completely trashed and decayed, but it looks like this was actually admissions or somewhere where you would check in right when you got in the building. The clerk would stay behind there. It looks like this office is just completely ransacked. Everything thrown all over the place, out of the cabinets, and just completely decaying. So coming up the stairs right here, it looks like there's still a sign that says Adams Hall. The old Christmas tree right there. Looking down into the admissions building right here. But we're gonna go check out the upstairs real quick before we go downstairs and see. So after checking out the upstairs a little bit, it looks like they've been really working on the construction up here, kind of taking everything out of the building. So I think we're gonna go check out downstairs now and see if they left anything else. All right, so we're finally gonna make our way downstairs. And as we're walking down, you can already see that there's a wheelchair on the super old checkered floor. And the basement down here looks super creepy. Looks like they left a lot of stuff over here. Just rotting away. This actually looks like a body mover. To move elders or when you pass away. Okay, so the first room we're going into in the basement right here. Looks like they have some old riot helmets or something. But when you look back here, it looks like this was used for some type of operation on the patients. With this bathtub and this machine right here. I'm not even sure what this machine does. But it's super rusted. And they actually have the old wheelchair right next to it as well. Wow, this is really creepy. This is the machine that's hanging right here. I'm not too sure, but it looks like you would put your eye up to it or something. If anyone knows in the comments, please let me know, because I'm really intrigued to know what this was used for. Especially being such an old hospital. In this little operation room, they also have this cabinet. And it looks like it's completely filled with paperwork. Oh my gosh. It's all filled and just thrown around. They just left it all. Wow. It really makes you wonder why they left so fast and just left everything behind. Wow, it looks like all of this paperwork is even filled out. That's crazy. Alright, so it looks like the last room. This is actually the old laundry room, it looks like. And it looks like there's actually clothes still in one of the dryers here. Wow. But these are like industrial size dryers. Let me turn around. Got some more paperwork. Stuffed animals. And then actually the washers right here. It looks like right behind the laundromat right there, this room is actually filled with old clothes. I'm not too sure if it's the old patient clothes or what, but it looks like they stacked all of it and put it in this room. And then coming into this room behind it, this one is actually completely filled with clothes. Wow. This is actually insane. It's hard to walk around here because there's just mountains of clothes everywhere. But it is just completely packed with clothes. And part of the ceiling is even collapsing, making all the clothes damp and smell really bad. Alright, so we just made our way up to the actual hospital right here. As you can see, this is the nurse's station, leading to the dining hall and the smoke patio. It leads in 4 different directions right here. I think we're gonna go check out this way first and see what they got. Alright, so coming into this first room right here, it looks like everything is still left, perfectly set up from the last day open. They still got all the chairs in a perfect circle right here. The desk set up right there, and actually an old radio. Super old fashioned. When I turn around, they actually still have some puzzles on the table that patients were able to do. Wow. And in the back of the room, they actually still have this old TV set up with all these old movies still on the cabinet right next to it. Wow, that's super cool to see. And then right across the hallway here, it looks like this is actually the patient's bedroom. There's still actually a chessboard set up on the bed. And the room is extremely decayed. But not much really in here besides the 2 beds and just the old chair. Coming into another room right here. Right next door, another patient bedroom. This one's extremely decayed. The ceiling falling down right there. They actually still have the old box TV. Wow. Coming down these hallways alone. It's just super creepy knowing the history about this place and how dark it is. This room right here is basically the same as the one we were just in. It's extremely decayed. Again, it's got the TV right there. This one looks like it's actually in a lot worse condition. A lot more of the ceiling is starting to fall. But we're going to keep making our way throughout this building. So again, coming right next door, it looks like this is another patient bedroom in here with 2 bed frames. Actually, looks like there's some stuff left on this one. Cigarette, hand warmers. Oh, it says, please do not disturb offerings left for spirits. Wow. It's pretty creepy, honestly. Actually, on the wall here, it says this is a no smoking area. And it has a schedule still for the times that you can smoke. It's kind of weird. And then coming into the bedroom right next door, it looks like they have some more offerings left for spirits on the bed right here. There's even some money. But it looks like other explorers left this for the spirits that remain inside of the building. As I make my way through this section of the building, it looks like a lot of these rooms, or basically all of these rooms, are just patient bedrooms that look exactly the same. So I think we're going to go check out another wing and see what it's looking like. So actually, as I was making my way to another section of the hospital, it looks like there's a bunch of paperwork and stuff left behind here at the nurse's office. And coming behind, it looks like it is still completely stocked up. They even have the old monitor right there and the jacket on the chair, but all of the files are just completely left behind. They even have the little nurse cart to be wheeled around to each room, fully stocked and left with the biohazard bags. And then the calendar actually right here is from 2011. It's left with a pair of sunglasses and a pack of cigarettes. They actually look like they still have the names on this cabinet that was once filled with pills, I believe, to give to the patients. Coming in this back room, it still looks like it's actually fully set up. It's like a little doctor's office back here. When you turn this way, it looks like they would fill these with supplies or with medicine. Wow, everything is just stocked. Just rotting away. Still got the please wash your hands sign. The wall completely filled with black mold. How ironic. So now coming down this section, looks like it's more patients' bedrooms. These actually still have the pillows right here. And this one is still completely set up with the old book and with the sheets still made. Looks like this one actually still has the curtains in pretty good condition to block the patients from the other one. And then this one actually still has a handicap bar on the side. More patients' rooms set up here with the sheets and pillows. Just such an eerie feeling to see it left like that. And it actually looks like these drawers are still filled with clothes. They've got another wheelchair right at the end of this hallway here. A couple more rooms. Looks like this is just kind of a storage room. Not sure what these are, but they're super moldy. And then right across from it, it looks like these are all of the clean sheets for all of the patients' beds and rooms. They were all just left here, stocked up on the cabinets. Still got some old pillows right there. Just gross. So right at the end of the hallway here, they got one more room. And it looks like this one is completely set up. This is sort of a day room. They got the checkers, or chess right there, I should say. All the tables set up. Even got a little picture on the wall. But this is just completely frozen in time. They've even got that old TV again. Alright, so coming over to this section right here, it looks like this is sort of another receptionist area. They have the chairs set up right here for when you're waiting. Actually, some old paperwork hanging on the board. But then when you go in to check in over here, you look past the paperwork, you can actually see this desk. This office is completely set up. They actually have the old pink computer over there. This is just so cool to see, and it looks so old-fashioned with that pink computer and everything hanging on the wall. And then when you turn and go over here, it looks like this is completely stocked with more books. They actually have some paperwork out on this desk. Right next door, looks like they have another office. Not too much going on in here, but again, they have the old computer and just some paperwork set up. And then turning around and coming through these doors right here, it looks like this is actually the dining hall. You can still see all of the chairs and booths set up right there. And then when you turn, they actually still have the menu for breakfast. I'm assuming from 2011 when this place closed, still up. And behind it, everything was left perfectly frozen in time in this dining hall. They even have the old cups and trays that they would give the patients sitting right there. Wow, this is truly amazing to see. They even have these to lay out all the food. The iced tea maker right there. Wow, this is amazing. It's frozen in time. And then it looks like on one of the booths right here, it has all the paperwork that they were working on. Oh wow, it looks like these actually were recipes. Scrambled eggs, fruit cobbler, cherry banana mold. Weird. But they still actually have the old mug from whoever was working right here. Just got up one day and left. And then actually looks like they have a concern report right here from 2009. Wow. Alright guys, so we just made it into the final building here on the property. And right when we walked in, it looks like this is another diner here. They actually have an old wheelchair right in the middle. But this is super old-fashioned. Again, they have an old mug sitting there. But the building is starting to decay around it. This is a good start to this building. I'm excited to see what we can find in here. Coming down this hallway here, it looks like this is another patient's bedroom. This one's a lot more decayed. Oh wow, and when you look right here, they actually have some old stuffed animals with the fan. It's creepy. This building is a lot more creepy than the other ones we've seen so far. But coming into another room right here, again, it looks like this is just a patient's bedroom. Not too much besides just the bed frames. You can actually see into this patient's bedroom from a hole in the wall. Wow, it's all super rusty. There's another room right in here. The paint peel is extremely bad. And it actually looks like this is another little dining hall or dining center. Actually fell victim to some graffiti and vandals. But again, just completely frozen in time. They got bingo on the table. Looks like this is just some type of office right here. Still got the table set up right there, and then a ton of old books on this bookshelf just rotting away. Here's another little wing of patients' bedrooms. Oh wow, another hole that leads to the hallway that you can see in here. But it is an extremely decayed room. This one looks a little bit different. It's got the purple wallpaper in here. Still 2 beds. They got the suitcase actually next to a Bible. I'm gonna start making my way upstairs. It just looks like this building is extremely decayed. I'm not too sure if this one is older than the others, but it is in terrible condition. Coming upstairs here, looks like they actually started removing stuff out of these rooms. There's only 1 bed in here, even though there's 2 nightstands. So I'm not sure what happened to the other bed in this one. But it looks like The one right across still has both beds set up right here. It's pretty much the same layout, all in this building. When you come across, this one actually still has some old movies sitting out. It looks like this was sort of the main entrance right there, leading up to this reception area here on the second floor. This would be the elevator, and just some office right here filled with paperwork. But as you come down, looks like this is another day room. Got the chairs in a circle, and then some more really bad graffiti. Got another little room right here. Again, just those old diner chairs. And then a painting actually right there. Not too much else on the second floor here. So we're gonna go check out the third floor and see what else we can find. And then the third floor here, it's actually worse. These rooms are pretty much empty, or it looks like they started to take all the stuff and pile it into a corner of the room. One of the rooms still had a bed and a couple chairs set up. Looks pretty much exactly the same as the ones underneath. Here on that fourth floor, it seems like they continued the pattern of throwing everything into a little corner on the side, or just completely removing all of the items out of the room. So there's 2 more floors we're gonna check out real quick, and that's gonna be it for this property. This is the 5th floor right here. It looks like as we go up, the floors start to get worse. These ones are in terrible condition, with debris everywhere and tons of decay. But this is really the only room with any kind of items in here. It looks like they really started to clear out the upper floors, or I'm not sure if when they closed they brought those items with them. So right before we left the property, actually, we just noticed that there's a streets and sanitation truck from Chicago sitting out here abandoned. Super odd. It's really rusty, but yet the door is wide open, and the condition of the inside is not terrible. Or maybe the ceiling is coming down, but surprising to see this left out here, especially from Chicago. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video at Indiana State Sanatorium. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.